Inside how Browns fans can end Deshaun Watson nightmare immediately. Inside how Browns fans can end Deshaun Watson nightmare immediately. Originally appeared on Athlon Sports. Is there any point at which Cleveland Browns, big swing and a miss, Deshaun Watson gets to be treated like a regular NFL player struggling to get things right? Or does the insane guaranteed contract and the troubling sexual misconduct issues allow us to view every single thing about him through a negative prism? The Browns have added 4 new quarterbacks this offseason. Cleveland pursued 2 veterans in Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett before spending a pair of draft picks on rookies Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Still hanging on here, too, is the failed franchise QB, Watson. A tear of his Achilles last season ended year early and put his upcoming campaign in jeopardy. This only got worse when he suffered a major setback in January, all the while draining the cap with the unprecedented $230 million, 0 cents fully guaranteed contract he was handed when the Browns traded for him from Houston. Now comes news that the Browns have yet to rule him out for the season. And in almost every other case in the history of the NFL, this would be viewed as at least a glimmer of positive news. The Browns haven't ruled him out for the season yet, and they've always been in the never say never camp, Cleveland.com writes. Besides, they certainly don't want to discourage Watson when he's working so tirelessly to come back and making a meaningful contribution inside the building. That seems sensible. And yet, consider the headline and the lead in the aggregated story in Sporting News. Browns' Deshaun Watson nightmare might not be over yet, is how SN phrased it. Deshaun Watson just won't go away. We're not chastising SN here. We do not have an answer for when fans can say enough is enough, for when Watson has done his penance, for when he'll just be considered another football player, albeit possibly no longer a good one. But consider Cleveland.com's piece again. In the meantime, they write, sources say Watson has been an awesome teammate inside the quarterback room and meeting rooms and has been a great cheerleader for the 4 quarterbacks vying for the starting job, and Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and practice have done so for 4 other teams, and Joe has been transferred to the football piece. They wrote, the quarterback Pickett has done so much for his former programs vying for the starting job in Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and practice, and he has decided to step away from 4 to be now with his former programs vying for the starting job in Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and practice, and he has decided to step away from several teams, which he has now worked for the past 14 years, and he has Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. He's been especially helpful to the rookies in Gabriel and Sanders, who are working overtime to remain in the starting mix. Does that count for anything, as the club perhaps wants to squeeze any value it can out of what has been a horrible investment? Does it could for anything if he's simply trying to pitch in? In the end, Watson's career downturn might be his nightmare, but as time has passed, we're not sure why it still needs to be ours. This story was originally reported by Athlon Sports on June 30, 2025, where it first appeared. By any metric, moral, emotional, or football, the Deshaun Watson era in Cleveland has not gone as hoped. What was once billed as a franchise-changing acquisition has spiraled into a drawn-out, polarizing, and at times surreal chapter in Browns history. But there's one force in sports that can change momentum faster than a fourth-quarter pick-six. It's the collective will of the fan base. And make no mistake, Browns fans can end the Deshaun Watson nightmare immediately. Not through violence or vitriol, not through blind rage or boycotts, but through creativity, consistency, and courage. Let's explore how. 1. The power of silence in a stadium of noise. Every NFL quarterback thrives on momentum. Cheers, chants, the adrenaline of a crowd behind them. Imagine instead a crowd that offers none. Not boos, not applause, just silence. Picture First Energy Stadium packed with 67,000 Browns fans. The team trots out. Music blares, players slap hands, and then Watson enters the huddle. The fans go quiet. And no chants, no cheers, no sound. It's eerie, jarring, haunting, and most importantly, it sends a message. We're here for the Browns, not for you. This is psychological protest at its finest. It avoids the pitfalls of confrontation and focuses instead on controlled disapproval. A stadium full of fans in silent defiance would grab headlines. It would catch players and ownership's attention, and it would remind Watson that no amount of guaranteed money can buy forgiveness or enthusiasm. 2. Lean into irony and satire. What traditional protests can't do, humor often can. Imagine an entire dog pound wearing t-shirts that say, "Still waiting for quarterback 31." Or fans holding signs that read, $230, 0 cents M, couldn't buy class, QB or PR disaster. Watson completion percentage, 59%. Trust level, 0%. When fans get creative, the message travels further. Late night host notice. Social media explodes. Networks start asking uncomfortable questions. The franchise has to respond. Fans can stage mock MVP ceremonies for backup QBs or sarcastically nominate other players for best leader or most coachable. This puts pressure not just on Watson, but also on the front office to reevaluate the culture they're cultivating. 3. Direct the spotlight to worthier players. Watson isn't the Browns. He's not even the best player on the team. Players like Nick Chubb, Myles Garrett, and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah continue to earn admiration through performance, humility, and integrity. Fans should double down on supporting them. Cheer wildly when Chubb breaks a 20-yard run. Chant Garrett, Garrett every time he sacks a QB. Flood social media with praise for the players who deserve it. All right, I want all fans praising and compliments for the players who deserve it. Make it clear to the front office that if they want to build a brand and legacy worth following, they should build it around players who reflect the city's values. Watson's media shadow shrinks when the fans amplify others.